Okay, this video is designed to show you how to crop an image, to select one and crop one. And this is what we're going to use for the acrylic as we start. Instead of starting with just samples like I did with watercolor painting, we're going to move on a little bit and do our practice applying it to an actual finished work. So what I want to show you are some things about how to select an image that'll work well and then how to crop it. Some of this you may already know. So the first thing you want to do is to select an image. So I've got several here I've used in different classes. So think about somebody who you want to look at for a few minutes. Maybe somebody you admire. It could be a famous person. It could also be a friend. You could even do a self-portrait if you wanted to. And there's several different views. You're probably not going to find a profile, which is straight from the side, and you don't want to use that anyway. You also don't want to use, like this picture, which is just straight on. If you think about that line right here that splits your face in half from left to right, straight on view or front view is just a vertical line. What you're looking for instead is a picture that's pretty close up, but we're going to crop it anyway. That's what's called a 3/4 view. So here's a 3/4 view. What happens is she is not looking straight at you, but not from the side. It's somewhere in between. So that when you turn, you can see that her left eye is kind of going, it goes off the edge just a little bit. Part of it's kind of hidden behind her nose. This is a 3/4 pose. And so you'll see either this or front view quite a bit. So this is the one that I selected to use. And the process I did is I clicked on it first, and then I also went over here on the right to view image, because that gets me a bigger image. Sometimes it goes from being a thumbnail picture to a better resolution. Then if I right click in the image and hit save image as, let's see, that's good. It's just says Stacey Abrams. And then I want to pick from the desktop your art folder, and I'm going to put it, let's see, I'll put it in 4th. And you want two things, remember, when you save. You want to know where it's going. So up top I know it's going to my art folder, and down at the bottom you know what it's going to be called. It's just her name, Stacey Abrams. And then I just hit save. So now I know that it's in there. So if I minimize that and I go back to my folder right up here in the top right and open that, it should be waiting on me right here. So then what I'll do is I'll just open that up, and I want to crop this to look like the paper that we're going to use, the same shape. We're going to be using 1/4 of a sheet, 1/4 of a sheet of poster board. That's what you can pick up with your supplies in the front office, which would be, let's see, 11 by 14. So it'll be 11 inches wide, 14 inches tall. Really, it's not worth measuring, but we can get it just kind of by looking at it and get the proportions of the crop. So let me show you how to do that. Up top on this little menu, the crop button's on the right. When you click that, the aspect ratio should say custom. You can do 8 by 10s, different sizes. You can make a widescreen. What we need is custom, so that we can move this around. You can move a single line, like just one edge, by clicking and holding on that edge, or you can click the corner and move the corner in and out. So it kind of just depends on what you're editing or your preference. So the first thing I'll do is I'll bring in the right and the left so they kind of match the top. So it's not going off the edge, but there's a little bit of background showing. Then what I can do, now that I've got that set, I can just bring up the bottom. If I bring it up, say that much, it's way too tall. It's taller than the paper. Their proportions aren't the same. Likewise, if I bring it way up here, it's too much. It's almost square. It's a little bit wider than it is tall. So what I want to do is find a place to where all of her face shows. but it looks about like the paper. And that would be about right there. I think that looks good. Now I don't need to on this one, but you can also click on the photo and move it. If you've got the proportion set here, you can move this around, kind of get it set. And when I paint it, I'll probably ignore, since just a little bit of her hand is showing, I can ignore that and just paint the part that I'm interested in. Alright, now once you've gotten that, just come over here. If you click Save a Copy, you keep the original and you get the crop. Since we don't really need to do that right now, I'm just going to click this little blue arrow. I'm in the lower right corner and just click Save. Okay, so now if I've got that. That's what I can work from there. So it's in my folder. It's right here. Remember, I replaced the original with the crop. So if you open it up, you've got the crop to work with. So go ahead, if you need to, go back through this video, find the picture that you want. Remember, a 3/4 view where they're looking a little bit to the side, sort of like she's doing here. Find one that's clear, that's not too blurry, and it must be a photograph of a human. Okay, and where it shows all of it, and the crop is not pulling it too far from the background so that it's not blurry. Alright, so this is where we'll start on the next video.